As I see it, Class Warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom? It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willis.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. And of course, good morning to the United States of America. Good morning to the entire world receiving our signals via the magic of El Internet, formerly known as the ARPANET, created by we the people. Una vez más lo voy a repetir. One more time I will repeat. We the people. It's always about we the people. And today, I'm going to have a very, very positive message. You know, a lot of folks sit back there and think, God, are things gonna ever get better? Can they ever get better? And we've got examples, one that occurred a few months ago and one that occurred a couple of days ago. And I'm going to tell you that if we keep our eyes focused, we keep our eyes on the ball, America will come back. But without further ado, let's get busy with the studio with the two geniuses, El Señor Howard Reynolds and Jacques Van Beba.
Well, good morning, Egberto. It is Friday, the 31st of October on the radio, and it is Halloween Day. I want everybody to be safe out there and have a good time. Jack, you got something going on here, man?
Yeah. His headlines today. Welcome to Politics Done Right, where we pull back the curtain on America's moral and political crossroads. Today's show brings three powerful stories that intersect at the heart of democracy and decency. From the terrified immigrant whispering, "No policia, por favor," after a minor incident, to Lawrence O'Donnell's righteous indictment of a complacent media, to the Dutch voters' stunning rejection of far-right tide. Each narrative exposes a fight for truth and humanity. Together they remind us that silence empowers tyranny and that collective courage can bend history towards justice. I have some other headlines I took off the stuff today. WTAE Pittsburgh, Westinghouse strikes $80 billion deal with U.S. to build new power reactors. Nukes instead of renewables are going the wrong direction. Trump's push to restart nuclear tests could take years and cost millions, probably more like billions. Mm-hmm. Life science, this is a cool one. First image of galaxy's black hole heart. They got it. All right. 1.7 million to be banned from SNAP benefits under GOP proposal. Jeff Bridges has a message for lawbreakers as millions lose food assistance. I could only think of how Lebowski would answer this. So, y'all being so mean, man. Why?
Well, thank you for that update there, Walter Cronkite.
He sounds like Walter Cronkite. I like it. But you know what? Well, we got some. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. If you ever wondered how it became the Planet of the Apes, this is how. We're seeing the start of it. All right, Egberto. We have our general manager on the line here. Let's hope his tin cans and string have held up. Sandy, are you there?
I hope I'm there.
We do too.
I feel like I'm there. Good morning, folks. Day number 16 of our fall marathon membership drive, where we're just trying to get enough money to make it to February, get it through the hard, cold winter. And on day number 16, we begin with $124,790 from 773 distinct acts of kindness. And the fund drive, last couple days, seems to be picking up. And with any luck, everybody keep your fingers crossed, sometime in the middle of next week, we will be done with this and moving forward with regular programming, finishing early if we can keep our pace. So thanks to everyone. Looks like we're on course to make it, but not to jinx it, it could always go wrong. 713-526-5738 option 1 or kpft.org. We're looking for $500 on this program this morning and waiting for the first pledge to come in. So get it going this morning. Some kind soul out there maybe has $5 or $10 a month to throw our way and do a sustaining pledge to get things started. Egberto, back to you.
Thank you so kindly, Sandy.
Ow.
Happy Halloween to everybody. Thank you so kindly for that, Sandy. And we are going to get started. Since I want to go through the two types of elections that gives us hope, I'm going to just bring Johnny on since he called in right at the beginning before I start talking. So, Brother Johnny is on the line. Número uno. ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo?
I will tell you that on Halloween day morning, it's not a trick or treat. Actually, it's more of a treat, I think. And it exposed the trick of Charlie Kirk, of all people. Since Charlie Kirk came up in Arnie Arneson's program a few minutes ago, our guest, Mr. Feingold, I think his last name, he brought up some things that people need to be aware of, and I will dovetail with his little speech by bringing to your attention a video I discovered last night on YouTube, a YouTube channel called Rationality Rules by a bearded guy in his mid-30s from Britain with a beard. His name is Steve. He doesn't put his last name on there, but he does a good job of deconstructing Charlie Kirk's method of debate. And I highly recommend that video. It's a little bit involved. You probably have to stop and start the video several times in order to fully absorb his explanations. But he constructs Charlie very well using a debate that Charlie Kirk had not too long ago with a medical student called Kai Bevan. And once you go through this, you will feel way better about how the far right uses tactics of deception, and you will see the what's the word I can use for Charlie Kirk as the fraud that he is. On that happy note.
Okay, well, before you go, Johnny, before you go, because you just piqued my interest. What's the name of the video?
This video is titled "Charlie Kirk's Worst Debate: How a Calm Hebrew Student Exposed His One Trick." And they were debating abortion, by the way.
Okay, and how? Wait. How Charlie Kirk? I tell you what. Go ahead and get off the air for me and tell Jack and to write it down and text it to me because I want to really check that out. That sounds very informative. Thank you, Johnny. As I've always, don't hang up, but talk to Jack. Anyway, you see, I always talk about having the greatest listeners and also learning from our listeners and getting information from our listeners. You know, many heads always better than one head. Always remember that humility is also a very important thing one should have. Welcome aboard our Anna Hart. Good morning from Washington State. We love positivity. You're going to get it today, Anna. You're going to get it today, Anna. Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia. ¿Cómo estás, mi hermana? And Harry Denson, our brother from Missouri City. Those are our chat number one. Chat number two has Catherine Hill, who says, "Hello, Egberto. Looking forward to some positive input." Yes, I'm glad that you want positive input. Stacy Dimino, welcome. Lady Historian, Judy, Glenn, we got to set up our cafe. And by the way, that person that you want to come to the cafe with us, he said if the time that we select is good, he'll actually come. You know who I'm talking about. Kathleen Roby, welcome aboard as well. So, folks, we are going to have a great program for you today. But before I get started again, I must go ahead and pitch a little bit on top of what our general manager just did, Sandy. And then I'm going to really get into it, and I'm not going to bug you for a few minutes. Please, folks, this is a time. We're at 100% zero for the morning. If some of you could take this time that I'm pitching for a couple minutes and call 713-526-5738, extension number 1, and donate whatever you can. We are asking for those who have the wherewithal to do so to consider giving us a coffee a month or 2 coffees a month. That is $5 a month, $10 a month, or maybe 3 coffees a month, $15 a month. I know Sandy is saying, Egberto, what the hell is wrong with you? A coffee is not $5 anymore. It's not $5 anymore, but I'm just using that to round off. No one do math this early in the morning. So, think about $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month. That'll really get us going on the program today. If we can get a few listeners that have never given, or those who want to renew or those who want to extend their sustaining membership, and you will be doing magic for keeping public radio, community radio on air that can give the kind of information that we're going to cover. And you're going to like this. So folks that are listening, I'm not pitching a whole lot right now. I'm coming on in a minute with the real story, but I need to do this to raise a few dollars. So I ask you so kindly to call in to raise a few dollars. Right donation info here we can see and link to that, please. I will do so. Anyway, folks, what we need is to call 713-526-5738 or go to kpft.org, hit that donate button. And when you hit that donate button, select the gift that you want, the sustainer if necessary, as well as make sure to select Politics Done Right as a program you're supporting. All right, let's get busy. Everybody, I'm out there with our protesters or etc. a whole lot. And yesterday I went out there and with these great women in Kingwood who are out at Crenshaw's office in area every single Thursday. So we lost a whole lot of signs in the last Indivisible, No Kings march, and Cindy went ahead and got a whole lot of new signs put together, and she said, I bet I'm gonna have some new signs. Well, she didn't only have new signs, she also had a costume on that went over very well. And they had new signs, so I went out there to take some pictures and do a couple of interviews with them, etc. I did that. I won't play it now because of time constraints, but you can always go to our channel to see it. But I spent about 20-something minutes in a discussion, in a dialogue with a right-winger. And I don't know if some of you have already seen the video or not. I can't play it right now because, again, we're in Fund Drive. But you can go see it. And while some may not see the mutability of this guy, what I saw is we found ways to let him have to sit back and think. And at the end of the discussion, when we're off camera, he comes up to me and he said that, I'm really gonna use your card. I'm really gonna check you out on your networks and see what you have to say, because he actually got somebody. He was in shouting matches with some of the protesters. I not once shouted. Even when he attempted to shout, this evangelical Christian I was able to calm down and have a discussion with. So that was a positive thing that happened yesterday that told me, and something that I talk about all the time. We're not, even those that seem to be mutable sometime can actually move on when you can find the cracks that have them where they are. Now that said, yesterday in Poland, or a couple of days in Poland, a new government got elected. If you follow European politics and American politics, immigration has been a wedge issue movement that's been used by the evil ones, and I call them evil because that's what they are. The evil ones, and I'm not talking about the average conservative, average Republican, average European, conservative, average European, whatever party they have that is right of center. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those people who have been using those people's fears against them. Like the guy who I spoke to yesterday, it is easy to use his fears against him. Ironically, this guy was at the University of Texas at the same time that I was at the University of Texas. He actually played football for the University of Texas. And we had a great discussion. We were able to communicate. Now, so it had seemed like the Western world, and this is a Western thing, it had seemed like the Western world was moving into attempt of being insular and using immigration as that polarization factor to control the minds of others. And in the process of doing that, what it was doing, I suppose, not only insularity, but forgetting what really brought Western success. It's hard for them to see many a times that it was in fact, and this guy even fessed up to it somehow, the others that were taken advantage of, that brought the disproportionality of wealth across the West, period. Colonization of Africa, colonization of South America, colonization of all the Americas, enslavement of the other, and genocide on the other. Those things, I mean, if you those things bring the people on top, the wealth, the thing. So, and now that the system that used those things to create is falling apart, right? And the average American and the average European are watching themselves decline because, again, the actual economic system that depends on all these colonialism and these other isms, the mathematical formula of that kind of a system fails over time because eventually it eats itself. And that's where we're at right now. We're in end stage capitalism, etc., etc., etc. And to solve that problem, those still in power have to hammer down on the hate on others, so immigration and all of that. But we have very smart progressives out there, people that have read the tea leaves and see the things the way they are. That it is the economic system, it's not the people. The vast majority of people, I don't care if you're MAGA, left wing, right wing, the vast majority of people are good. I'm telling you, even that guy that was rude to the women and these women out there, when I got there and we were able to talk on getting rid of talking about certain issues, we could talk on real issues. I want to give a big thank you to Doris. Thank you so kindly, Doris, for your contribution from Marietta, Texas. Thank you so kindly, a new person into the fold. Please join Doris and become a sustainer as well if you can. So yesterday, and I'm going to start with the article in Poland because I love this. It said, the leader of the Netherlands center-left Democrat 66 party hailed the results of Wednesday's snap parliamentary elections as proof that millions of Dutch people have turned the page and said goodbye to the politics of negativity, with the far-right Party for Freedom set to lose 11 seats and its vehemently anti-migration leader Geert Wilders appearing to have no path to a majority. We've shown not only to the Netherlands but also to the world that it is possible to beat populist and extreme right movements, D66 leader Rob Jetten, who is now likely to become the Netherlands' youngest and first openly gay prime minister. Full election results may not be known for weeks, but the Dutch news outlet NOS reported Thursday morning that the D66 was in the lead by 15,122 votes, putting Jetten in a likely position to lead talks on forming a new coalition government. Both D66 and the Party for Freedom, PVV, were projected to win 26 seats in the Parliament's 150-seat lower house. The result represented a precipitous fall from power of PVV. Wilders has led the far-right party for nearly 2 decades, and his surprise victory 2 years ago, like Trump's surprise victory, earned him the nickname the Dutch Donald Trump, as he promoted his virulent Islamophobic rhetoric and pushed to eliminate all migration from Muslim-majority countries, end asylum, and revoke Dutch citizenship from people with dual passports. Does that sound familiar? He also called to revoke climate regulations and pull the Netherlands out of the European Union. Does that sound familiar? Pull America out of NATO. Say that the green energy push is a hoax. Remember that? But the New York Times reported in an analysis of the election, Wilders could not rally the support to turn those extreme stances into reality. In other words, people woke up. People woke up, and you know what woke people up? The masses. The masses went out there, and the masses acted. Remember that 3.5% rule we've spoken about several times. In June, Wilders, whose chants against Moroccan immigrants at a rally in The Hague led him to be convicted of inciting discrimination in 2016, withdrew his party from the governing coalition after failing to get support for his extreme anti-migration policies. The PVV's campaign ahead of the parliament elections promised the same policies and led other major parties to pledge that they would refuse to form a new coalition with Wilders. René Hendricks, an election volunteer in The Hague, told the Times that the Netherlands is a bit fed up with PVV's leadership. America is getting fed up. The polls are out with what Americans think about the destruction of the East Wing and the build up of a mansion ballroom for the president. They are way against it. America is against what's being done with healthcare. America is against what's being done with SNAP. America is against all these issues. America is waking up. They said we had 7 million people at the No Kings March. It actually is almost twice that amount when they took into account all the other little towns, etc., that pretty much weren't counted. Again, wake up. I want to read a particular part that shows why Mandami is and will be successful in his method operandis and what other Democrats should follow or other smart politicians should follow. Listen to this. Jatin's party focused heavily on affordable housing, proposing the construction of 10 new cities to help solve the country's chronic housing shortage, which is something that's endemic here in the U.S. as well. In the U.S., we have a shortage of housing for another reason as well, though. The buying up of houses by corporations, keeping them on the market to cause price spike, which is the right thing to do if you're capitalist. That is a problem that we have here that we have to mitigate. But continuing, D66 also called for making smart use of artificial intelligence and digital progress to pave the way for a 4-day work week, ending fossil fuel subsidies, the passage of an anti-discrimination act, and well thought out and effective policies rather than using strong language on migration. I am going to be having a discussion maybe next week with a good friend of this show who thinks that I am wrong on wanting the success of, not wanting the success, I don't think he would put it that way, of believing that AI could actually be a positive. And what I love seeing in this little paragraph here is the concept that the person who will be the new prime minister has, and that is AI should be used to benefit the people and not to benefit the few. And they're talking about how to use it to reduce the work week. In the case of the Netherlands, from 5-day work week to a 4-day work week, I actually think we can get down to a 10-hour work week when it's all said and done. When it's all said and when I say a 10-hour work week, it may mean people work a 40-hour week for 3 months and then they're off for 3 months, stuff like that, right? That is what AI should do for us, not that it lays off people and because it's so efficient, the wealthy makes a killing. That's not what it should be at all. But anyhow, so that is where they're at. Now, some of you may look and say, there's a lot more to read in the article. I'm not going to go there because I've got to do a little bit of pitching. But some of you are going to say, well, you know what? That is the Netherlands. That's just another country, one country out of all this stuff that is going wrong. And what I want to do after I get back from Sandy is to give you another real life example where this other country went further than the Netherlands went to the right. And the people stopped it. They had their own No Kings March all around the country, and they stopped it cold. We'll talk about that. but let's throw it to Sandy. Let's try to raise a little bit of money. And I ask you, as Sandy is speaking, please call in at 713-526-5738, extension number 1, to give whatever you can. I want to thank Doris for having given the first pledge of the morning, which she gave a sustainer. Would love a lot more of those. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org, kpft.org, hit that donate button and select what you want to give. After you select what you want to give, you can go ahead and please make sure to say, scroll down in the scroll box and make it go to Politics Done Right so that Sandy can appropriately tag it. Now, we still have available coffee with Egberto. Glenn is in the chat right now. He took advantage of one of that, and he's actually going to bring in a conservative with us when we go out to dinner. Actually, a right-winger MAGA guy he's going to bring in with us when we go to dinner. And, not to dinner, to coffee. But again, that is still available. Coffee with Egberto. Just go to the website, kpft.org. Click on that donate button, and if you can't find it, just scan for Egberto, Egberto. It's a $250 contribution. We could use a few of those, and I would love going out and have coffee with you. I would love to go out and have a good chat with you. Alternatively, we have our t-shirts, a KPFT Politics Done Right t-shirt, $100 contribution. Hey guys, none of this comes to me. None of this. All of this goes to make sure this station stays alive. So please, 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 while Sandy is speaking, please, some of you, I ask you so kindly to give us a call or go to kpft.org, 713-526-5738, extension 1, or kpft.org. My dear brother, Sandy.
Thank you, Egberto. I would be remiss if I didn't, act as your pitch partner here by saying everything you said. I can only respond, that's right. 738. Doris was dialing it in from Marietta, Texas. Do you know where that is, Egberto?
I don't. Where is that?
It's a little south and west of Texarkana, so you're not too far from both Louisiana and Arkansas when you're living in Marietta, in the northeast corner of Texas. So thank you for that pledge coming from likely over the internet, listening by stream. Remember, folks, we have a new app. We've talked about that a lot, the KPFT radio app, available for both Android and Apple phones. And when you download that, KPFT is always just a tap away, not just to KPFT HD1, but also HD2 and 3. And yes, there's even a button to make a donation. Catch up on KPFT news. You can get to the archives through the app. It's quite a handy tool to put on your device. So thank you, Doris from Marietta, for getting us started. Sure would like to hear from Houston or someplace a little closer, or maybe even someplace further away. Earlier in the week, we had a very nice sustaining pledge coming in from, of all places, Framingham, Massachusetts. So people near and far are listening to this program. People are, using KPFT to educate their ears, maybe ease their mind, maybe tap along with the music that's played a little later in the day. Whatever it is that causes you to listen, remember that none of this is free. This is community radio. We all get together 3 times a year at this point. Used to be 4, we're down to 3. And fund this radio station. And it's been like that the whole time we've been in existence. Commercial dollars, we don't got. Underwriting, it's growing in terms of the percentage that contributes to our needs annually, but yet listener donations are somewhere between 92 and 93% of the necessary revenue it takes to pay all dem bills every month, which total around $60,000. So again, with this fund drive, we're clicking along and we're approaching the $125,000 mark. We're $90 away from $125. So next $90 pledge puts us in even a better spot. If you consume this radio station, remember that it's volunteer driven. It's also 100,000 watts, and it doesn't run on Halloween candy. I wish it did, because it'd be a lot easier to go door to door and collect a few candy bars and put them into the transmitter and, well, have it go crank up. But it certainly does not work like that. We have all kinds of bills to pay every month, and I'm so happy that this fund drive is going along well. We're waiting on your call if you haven't yet pledged this drive. If you haven't pledged in 2025, if you've never pledged, please take that step or consider that step to become the next new member or next renewing member. We've come a long way since September 2022 when we started broadcasting from our Caroline Street studios, but we're not there yet, and we sure could use your voice in terms of your contribution, joining in with all the other people that have done so already. And there have been 774 kind acts of donation. So someone with $90 could be the 775th. We will be at a nice around 125,000. And don't forget, next week, early in the month, we look at how many sustainers are renewing. And when that happens, we'll have a sizable add to the kitty. And I'm very excited about being able to end this fund drive a few days early. But it has to start with the next donation. So 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. For those of you that woke up and went out to the front lawn to go retrieve your newspaper, well, aren't you special? You're still getting the paper delivered. But moreover, when you stepped outside, you noticed a chill in the air. That's right, the cooler weather is here. So we have a long sleeve t-shirt celebrating this fall fund drive. Might come in handy for some of these cooler days. It's a butter-colored t-shirt with a very beautiful design that our own James Nagel, the blues hound, put together for us. And if that's not warm enough, maybe you'll put that on and go, I need something else. I need to do layers, dress in layers. We have the KPFT hoodie. The new logo hoodie is available for a $15 a month donation. That's $180 in total, but you could break it up into those 12 payments. And it's all on the honor system from there. And we actually appreciate it when you do that monthly, because the monthly contributions are making a huge difference in the life of this radio station and the future of this radio station. So consider that $5 or $10 a month pledge. Consider the t-shirt or the hoodie, whatever thank you gift you want. But remember, folks, the biggest thank you is having this 100,000 watt community station in the third largest city in the country. That be Houston, and that's all of us. So it's even Marietta, it's even Framingham, Massachusetts, and well beyond the extended Houston community. Thank you, Egberto. So back to you.
Thank you so kindly, Sandy. And let's go to, I'm going to talk about this other country in a minute, but I know Betty usually have a nice, short and concise statement. So let's go to our beautiful Betty. Come on in, Betty.
Good morning, Alberto. Trump is spreading money and fear in the bomb. Rich, religious, Supreme Court judges, lawyers, Trump's junkyard dogs, ICE, and the military, and the big dummies of all January 6 white supremacist type troublemakers. He uses all of the above to throw each other off. That's his weapon. Trump has created his medicine. We have to take medicine to throw it off. It's called love the Almighty. Do 90.1, Alberto. No throw off.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Love me some Betty. Let's go to line 3. Tom, come on in.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, this is Tom Zarnik. I just want to tell you I increased my sustainer monthly contribution from $5 to $10.
Thank you so kindly, Tom. Let me just tell folks a little bit about our brother Tom here. Tom is a constant at our 3 o'clock, and he writes limericks, and he always has a limerick for us to read on air. Thank you for that, brother.
Yeah, I got a new one for you, but I'll call in at 3 o'clock or 3 to 4.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
And I'll post that for you. I just wanted to let you know that I was thinking about our No Kings rally back in October 18th, and it was really good. And we was in Howell, Michigan, and we had about 2,000 people there, I think.
Wow.
And, many posters and protests, and I like one of the chants. You might probably use it for your show. It's called, it will say, no hate, no fear, everyone's welcome here. No hate, no fear, everyone's welcome here. They kept repeating that over and over again. So
I love
was,
that.
Kind of inspiring. A lot of young people, a lot of older people. Unfortunately, not a lot of people of color. It's still a pretty segregated area.
Well,
so I'd like to see that change.
Let me tell you, look, freedom is essential, and like I tell folks, this guy tried to bring the race issue up, and he actually brought that up. You know, they're trying to create dissension by saying No Kings was very white. Well, I'm not white. I was at No Kings, and a lot, there are a lot of stories behind that. I don't have the time to go over that right now. But the thing about it is, for all of those who participated in No Kings, thank you. You're doing the right thing. And Tom, thank you for all that you do, my brother. And I can't wait to hear the limerick this afternoon.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Have a good one, brother. Let's go to Jimmy. Come on in, Jimmy.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Tonight the children will be coming around my house trick-or-treating. I always enjoy talking to them, asking them about their costume, asking them what grade they are in school, giving them a little question like, how much is 7 plus 4? And telling them to work hard in school, that it will benefit them for the rest of their life. So I have fun talking to the kids, and sometimes they tell me about their costume and so forth. But it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing it, and then I give them a little piece of candy.
You know, so anyway, hey, Jimmy, hold on, Jimmy, hold on. You are over 90 years old. You can't get the damn teacher out of you, man. You've been on Phil Donahue's show as a teacher. You've been all over the place as a teacher. We just can't get it out of you. I love me some teachers. LBW is in the chat as well, another teacher. And anybody that's a teacher, write in the chat. I'm a teacher. I just have to salute you guys. All right, finish for me.
I want to push education, too. We need free tuition in public colleges. That'll benefit the nation and the whole world.
Yeah, there you go, brother. Hey, I got to go, Jimmy. Let me go to Ben because I promised everybody to finish the story. Let's go. Ben, come on in.
Yes, good morning, Houston. I want to talk about you and Neil were talking, I think, yesterday about the local elections and the ballot.
Yes, sir.
And what was on the ballot. And so there are some items on there that are important, for taxes and that kind of thing. And Neil was saying some people are just not voting because as a protest against, the current government. But there are things that would be beneficial to people as far as taxation is concerned. Now, I was pretty unaware. You guys yesterday kind of nudged me to check into this election because I didn't remember getting any notification or anything like I usually do. And so that's usually done by my mail-in ballot from Harris County. I didn't receive one. So I called them and asked them where was my mail-in ballot. They said, now you have to register every year for a mail-in ballot. So if you didn't get a mail-in ballot and you used to, you got to register again, and you got to register every year. So that's what I'm going to do. You were talking about the changes that are happening in these other places. The basic thing is you got to go out and vote no matter what. Even if they try to block you from voting and they're gerrymandering everything, you got to get out there and vote. You got to not be afraid, and you got to go vote.
Ben,
Even for school district or railroad commissioner or Proposition 7, go vote.
Ben, I want to thank you for that message because I didn't know that. And you've just enlightened a whole bunch of people as far as the different forms of suppression that these guys are trying to use. The mail-in vote predominantly now.
I found this out yesterday.
Great.
Because of what you guys were saying. So a gentle nudge, vote,
Right.
go vote. And you talked about the ballot. And he said, well, there's some things on there that were important. So that nudged me. And
I appreciate that.
This mail-in, this blockage of the mail-in vote, that means my local representative, Briscoe Kane, voted to block my vote and didn't tell me he did. So why am I mad? Because that guy is not working for me. That's why.
Ben, thank you very much.
I know.
Yeah, I hear that. Hey, yeah, you are the one that's. Hey, yeah, it's amazing. Look, thank you for that, Ben. That is so important. That your call means a whole lot, right? Because now a lot of folks know, and a lot of folks know to tell a lot of other folks to tell a lot of other folks. This is the change in Texas for that's creating some voter suppression. Thank you for that, Ben. Have a good one, my brother. All right. Take care. I want to welcome the Macabre Tavern. Paul, I don't know where the Macabre Tavern is, but I know Paul Fleming is in Powder Springs, Georgia. Welcome aboard. I also know Lady Bearcat is in Austin, Texas. Eric is in Kingwood, Atascocita. 12-year-old Keep Zuddy. I don't know where you are, but welcome aboard. We also have on the chats that I haven't mentioned, quite a few. John A. Davis is in the house. R. Vogels Grant, Alexa, Margaret Williams, MC, Jane B. in NC. And Jane B., I sent you an email to say thank you. You are a beautiful thank you person. Stephen Rosenweig, Marge KJ. I also, I think I called you out yesterday, Marge, on the main show. Glenn Ryan is a teacher. You know, Glenn, I know you're a teacher. And why I haven't saluted you before is probably because you always give me hell. And I never think about a teacher giving me hell. But, you know, I love you. And thank you for being a teacher. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate you is what I should say. Denny Luna, welcome aboard. If I missed anybody else, let me see. Cheryl Elkins is in the house as well. Cheryl Elkins, one of our great supporters. Thank you for being here. Folks, we are still behind the 8th ball. We have that one contribution out of I think he said Northeast Texas. Now we need contributions from everywhere. Can you give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org, hit that donate button. Sandy's going to come on for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to go to the second story that I told you about. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going there. Let's go to Sandy.
Thank you, Egberto. Yes, a lot happening out there. And a lot happening at KPFT as we are in our fund drive and looking for our second call this morning. Doris called in around a half hour ago, and that leaves us $380 shy of our goal this morning. 4 of you chiming in at $100, picking up the long sleeves t-shirt or maybe a Politics Done Right t-shirt will fill that void and push us over the line this morning. Then we'll pass the baton to Amy Goodman and Democracy Now! And so on. Folks, every program really does need to make its goal. Now, we've been pitching, this is day 16, and I know that some of you are reticent to turn the radio on when we're doing this, but it's antithetical to your own interest to not pledge. If you listen to this station, if you consume this station, if you value the content, if you value the difference between KPFT and anything else on the FM or AM dial, principally no commercials, but more importantly, your friends and neighbors behind the microphone, volunteers powering the content, not paid content coming out of a syndication that you can turn on anywhere across the country and hear the same program over and over, hear the same musics over and over. This is completely different. This is an oasis in the media desert So if you haven't pledged and you consume this radio station, consider your own interest. Consider $5 a month. Now, I don't know what you do with $5 when you leave the house. Mostly it winds up in my pocket when I come back because I can't spend it on anything because everything's more than $5. So the $5 bill might stay put. It's that way. But $5 from you and a whole lot of other people add up and allow us to continue with less worry, with less stress about keeping this station on the air. At the end of the year, a lot happens in terms of obligation. Also at the beginning of the year, in January, all the royalty, the streaming rights, all the licenses, all the fees, the insurance, the taxes on our building, all come due virtually within a 60-day period. And for that reason, it's important that we tank up now because it's going to be February before we come back to you and ask again. We need the dollars to pay all those obligations that are coming up. This is, I'm going in my fourth year as now general manager, formerly interim general manager, and I'm becoming all too familiar with the pattern of billing, etc. So coming up shortly is going to be a big stress for us in terms of making payments on necessary items to keep on keeping on. Your help is required. We all own this radio station. We're all part of the community. Can you part with $5 or $10 a month? Can we see a couple of you come in on a sustainer level of $20 a month? $20 a month incidentally qualifies you for one of the remaining grab bags, vinyl grab bags. You'll get it's going to be unknown until you open it up. Kind of like when you dump out that bag after trick-or-treating. What did I get? Any Reese's in there? Like that peanut butter. Hey, you're going to open this up, you're going to find some collectible vinyl for that pledge. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. What's that you say? You have no record player? Is it on cassette? No, we don't have a cassette grab bag. Sorry. But what we do have at the $10 a month level is you can choose a gift card from one of 3 restaurants that have donated those gift cards in an effort to have us raise some money. A couple pizza joints and a barbecue joint, $10 a month sustaining pledge. Puts you in line for one of those. When you call up, request a gift card from one of our 3 restaurateurs, I guess that would be Egberto. And, join in. Let's make it to the goal this morning. Let's have a good Friday morning on Halloween. And what we don't need is creepy, not making the goal, scary, not having enough money to pay the bills. What we need is a good time here on the fund drive and a good time through the winter months knowing that we'll have the money to keep this station on the air. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. It's all of us together, folks. Invest in our future. Egberto, back to you.
Thank you so kindly, Sandy. Okay, the other country that I was talking about, I got to get it to you guys now, is South Korea. And I'm going to point it out. Young Suk Yeol, a conservative former prosecutor, assumed the presidency of South Korea in May 2022. Over the subsequent 2 years, his administration increasingly drew scrutiny from civil society, the press, and opposition lawmakers for what critics describe as undermining democratic safeguards, just like we're doing with Trump right now, including attempts to reshape the justice system, restrict media freedom, and sideline the opposition in the legislature. You notice how Trump got rid of or made the people forcefully get themselves out of the Pentagon. No more real reporters in the Pentagon. He doesn't ask questions, allow questions from certain reporters, etc. Same thing Yoon Suk Yeol did, okay? Analysts note that South Korea has a strong memory of its authoritarian past, especially the 1961 to 87 military dictatorship era, and a highly mobilized civil society ready to resist democratic backsliding. But remember, America had never seen that before. We had, for a long time I was telling folks, remember we got out of the Red Scare with McCarthyism. We got rid of that. But that wasn't what Donald Trump is doing is McCarthyism on steroids, and with the possibility of doing what occurred in Korea between 61 and 87. And what we are doing is the importance of history is to learn from people's mistakes and learn from what has happened before so that you don't repeat it. So now, when that occurred in South Korea, where Yoon Suk Yeol tried to take over like Trump is trying to take over, on the evening of December 3rd, 2024, that's just a few months ago, President Yoon declared a state of martial law via an emergency televised address. Remember, think about what Trump is doing by lining up the National Guards in all the states and talking about he has all power to use the military. He's already laying the foundation. And invoke military special forces units with the ostensible goal of suppressing what his administration called anti-state elements and a legislative dictatorship. The decree suspended sessions of the National Assembly, mobilized the military into the heart of Seoul, and targeted opposition figures and media outlets for arrest and disruption, just like they're doing right now. However, in a dramatic turn, the legislature convened despite attempts to block it, voted to annul the martial law, and the order was lifted within 6 hours. So, if you want to know why Donald Trump has not yet declared martial law, they need to get the fixtures in so that they don't suffer the demise of what occurred in South Korea. Because remember the 3.5% rule. Don't think that the No Kings protests, why they raised so much hell about it, wasn't that fear. Because if the military comes out and they know that they have the fear, that suppresses it, people. We are on the right track for this to beat this autocrat. Positive thinking is not enough. Action is what it takes. And you know what I've seen in people, by the way, for those in Texas right now, your voting is not up to par. Let's listen to what Ben has to say. You got to go out there and vote. Ben said that Neil Aquino and myself nudged him to go to vote, and he realized that his right was being taken away, and he's going to vote. We got to vote. But the masses have to get together, as they did in South Korea. We preach, we pat ourselves on the back as being the preeminent democracy in the world. We pat ourselves on the back as being the country people look up to for their democracies. Yet we have Trump chipping away a bit. No, not chipping away at it, axing away at it. But people, the good news is we have started to not resist, but to react and act. Not only react, but act. No Kings 1, No Kings 2. Every single iteration has added a large percentage more participation. When I tell you that my friend out here, this is Red Kingwood, goes into her meeting, and in her meeting, 6 Republicans walk in as a part of this meeting. And she's in shock. If 6 walked in, most, remember, will be quiet as the change comes. Because that's just how it is. That 6 came in mean things are there, people. So while they're trying to bust your spirit, while they're trying to make you believe that things are going to be just the way things are going to be, things are going to be how you make it be. Things are going to be what you tell it to be, because the power lies with you. No, that's not a hyperbole. That's not a child in. That is the way it is. The power lies with you, or lay with you, whichever one is grammatically correct. The power is with you. Now, folks, they went ahead in a dramatic turn of event. They came out in every little city, every little town. Just like No Kings showed up in Kingwood, the most conservative area in Harris County. There was No Kings. Over 1,000 people in a place that couldn't even get 100 people from a previous iteration of these types of events. It's in your hands. It is in your hands. Let me just say this, folks. The bigger picture. In the wake of the crisis, observers downgraded South Korea's status from full democracy to flawed democracy in 2024. The episode offers a global warning. Even advanced democracies can slide when the executive perceives legislative gridlock or frames opponent as anti-state or use racial connotations, etc. But we can come above that. We can come above that. According to Cheryl Elkins, routine visibility helps a lot. She's absolutely right. That's why you see these women out there every single time. These women here in Kingwood, and you hear me talk about Kingwood a lot because I live here. I do a lot of my activism out here, but I work along with all the other activists. Neil Aquino is in the middle of town. We have Richard out there in Conroe. All of us work all over the confounded, in our case, Harris County, but again, around the country. So the positive message is this, my brothers and sisters. Stay woke. Keep your eyes open. Participate. Don't let them let you feel that things are too far gone. Things are absolutely never, ever too far gone. Because it's always going to be people power. Everybody lead by what again? We cede power. We consent to being led. Even in a communist country, the population, enough of the population and those armed as well, concede there to be led. We want to give a big thank you to Hanadi. Thank you so kindly, Hanadi, for your support. We cannot do this without you, and Hanadi brought us a way closer, and we could use another couple, and we will be there. Another couple, and we will be there, folks. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org, kpft.org. Hit that donate button and select the gift that you want. Before we go to station break at 7, I'm going to jump to Sandy, and then we'll be right back.
Thank you, Egberto, and thank you, Hanadi, for getting us that much closer. So Hanadi and Doris this morning toting the note for Politics Done Right. Still waiting to hear from you. 713-526-5738, option 1. Or kpft.org. This fund drive is scheduled to continue all the way till November 9th on the air. However, it looks like we'll be finishing early. So this may be the last Friday, this Halloween Friday, of this fund drive, where we're going to be asking to make that goal, that $175,000 goal. Hanadi's pledge pushed us over the $125,000 mark. Thank you for that. And it was a 775th donation to this fund drive. Join in, won't you? Your friends and neighbors are taking that step. They understand, they realize the value of having community radio, non-commercial radio, where we do have a voice, where we can speak up, where it is carried at 100,000 watts, not just around Houston, but all over the world by the magic. I think you call it the Arcanet there, Arcanet, Egberto. The internet, all over the world. 3 streaming channels. We have quite an operation to support at KPFT. A commercial operation of 100,000 watts and 3 streaming channels would probably employ somewhere around 20 to 30 people. At KPFT, we've got 3 full-time employees. Myself, our program director, Marlo Blue, and our engineer, Howard. And none of us are making anywhere near market rates, not even close. We ostensibly can break even running back and forth to the station, etc. What counts is that we don't personally profit. What counts is that this station is there for generations to come, for your kids, for your grandkids, for you right now. An educational 501c3 broadcast entity is what we are, and we need your help to keep it. Don't take it for granted. Please do not take it for granted. We've got about 5 or 6 minutes left before we're going to pass the baton to Democracy Now!, and we're still a wee bit short of our goal. We're getting close, but we need to hear from you. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. A $120 donation gets you a 1-pound bag of Caroline Street coffee beans from Lola Savannah and a Caroline Street coffee mug, the Caroline Street coffee combo. You want to put $20 more on that, make it a $140 pledge. You'll get the coffee beans and the KPFT thermos bottle. No matter the thank you gift you choose, remember the biggest thank you is having KPFT. Egberto.
Thank you so kindly. This is KPFT Houston. Harry, only 30 seconds. But you know, I can take you at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So let me give you 30 seconds. But I want to talk to 2 specific women in the chat.
Happy Halloween, the Festival of San Juan. There is a video on YouTube that former Labor Secretary Robert Wright did on the borrow, buy, die strategy, a diabolical tax loophole. When you buy stock for $1,000 and sell it for $10,000 and make a $9,000 profit, you have to pay capital gains. But the wealthy avoid that by either borrowing against it, and then they don't have to pay it. And then there's also they don't have to pay it on their property taxes. Now you think all that money could be used to fund KPFT for several years.
There you go. Thank you.
The rich children, they don't work, and they have. There was Robert Barron named Anthony Mellon who passed it down to $10, and he's not paying taxes.
There you go. Hey, Harry, I said 30 seconds, my brother. Let's talk at 2 o'clock. Okay. We talk at 2. Now, there are two women. One, I'm not going to call her name because she did it anonymously. And the other one is Jane B. I sent Jane B an email because I want to tell this quick story. First of all, thank you so kindly, Denny. Denny, thank you so kindly for your kind contribution, Denny. I love you, sis. Thank you. For all of you, we have a lot of contributors here in the chat, and I want to thank you from the depths of my heart. Remember, all of this money that you give here at KPFT, go to KPFT. But I want to call out 2 special women here because they are here every day. That is Jane and another one who that supported other contributors here. But they're not only givers here at KPFT, they're givers at nonprofits all over. But not only that, but they give to Politics Done Right Proper, and they subscribe. They're paid subscribers to the newsletter. They are all around supporters of this message and what we're trying to do here. And that's why I want to give a special call out to Cheryl, and others of you are doing that, I know as well. But these 2 stand out in their constancy out here. So thank you, Jane, and I'm going to just call her. Slap me if you have to, Jane and Cheryl. And let me just say, one of them sent a little something yesterday, and I've been trying to get more efficient because it's a lot of work to do this, and I was trying to get more efficient in doing postings, etc. And I'm posting last night, and I get a message, and I said this contribution came in. And just as I was looking at a tool that could make things easier, just as I was getting a tool to make things easier, this contribution came in. And I immediately used the entirety of that to purchase a tool that allows me to do some postings automatically that reduces the workload that we can even get more done. Why am I telling you this story? Your dollars to small entities like what we do here at KPFT, every single dollar matters. And there are times we are simply waiting for that extra thing to come in, that we can do things to make things a bit easier. And yesterday when that came in, I'm like, I'm a humanist. I'm not the person that goes about praying all that kind of stuff. But as I'm looking at this stuff and this stuff came in, I'm like, damn, I can actually go get this thing now, man, because it wasn't in the budget and it was able to get done right there. Thank you very much, Jane. That is touching. And when I look at the screen right now and I see you guys as contributors, I'm out of time. That is touching. Look, I got to get out of here. They're going to rip me to pieces. Anyway, studio, real quick. Anything to say?
Oh, not a thing here. Go ahead. Take it
all
on,
right,
Egberto.
Thank you, brother. Anyway, folks, love you all. Go to finish the show at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. You can write me directly at kpft@politicsdoneright.com or whatever. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. Love you. You know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
We join Democracy Now! In progress.